Alright, so interesting developments in regards to Cyberpunk 2077. What's up everybody, welcome back to another Cyberpunk news video. Today we actually have a really interesting message slash apology from the CDPR team. Of course, all the big brass, everybody in the lead team, of course, coming in with a big apology for everybody who currently has problems with Cyberpunk 2077. Now, of course, we have been talking about these quite a bit in these past few videos. Like I told you about my issues on the PlayStation 5, which come nowhere near to the problems that people on the old gen, especially base PS4s, base Xbox Ones, have compared to somebody like me. So let's begin with the message right here. Dear gamers, first of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last gen consoles before it premiered, and in consequence not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on the PS4 and Xbox One. And that's putting it lightly, because the game right now is almost unplayable on these consoles. I would even say that I kinda agree with some of the sentiment that this maybe shouldn't even have been a release on the old gen, or at the very least give a huge disclaimer that it simply doesn't work on that platform. Now, at the same time, it's also a bit unreasonable in my opinion to expect hardware that at this point is basically ancient to run a game like Cyberpunk. Like, we already saw the signs with Red Dead Redemption 2, which doesn't even have nearly as many buildings at any given time on your screen, except maybe in Saint Denis, and even then people were absolutely smashing it for the poor performance. Yes, that game looked gorgeous out in the wild where there's not much to render except for just vegetation and some trees. Yes, those can be a bit taxing, but no nearly as taxing as a full-on city, which I would even say it's one of the most packed cities I've seen so far in any open world game. And the sheer amount of assets, also the fact that the game is not fully optimized, yeah, those contributes, but expecting this to run well on this kind of old gen hardware, it's a little bit unreasonable in my opinion. Not to say that it's the consumer's fault, I'm just saying that at some point you need to think about upgrades. If you were a PC player, let me just say this, if you were a PC player and had the equivalent hardware of the PlayStation 4, you would probably be a little bit okay for the game to not run as well on your hardware, and you would be inclined to maybe even do a bunch of upgrades to it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Anyway, moving on, we will fix bugs and crashes and improve the overall experience. The first round of updates has just been released, and the next one is coming within the next 7 days. Expect more, as we will update frequently whenever new improvements are ready. After the holidays, we'll continue working. We'll release 2 large patches, starting with patch number 1 in January, and this will be followed by patch number 2 in February. So basically we're getting 2 huge patches in early 2021. But together these should fix the most prominent problems gamers are facing on the last gen consoles. We will be informing you about the contents of each patch ahead of their release. They won't make the game on last gen look like it's running on a high spec PC, which honestly I think is quite reasonable, or next gen consoles, but it will be closer to that experience than it is right now. Now, personally, I would say that CDPR kinda dug a bit their own grave, and no matter what they would have done, they kinda set themselves for failure no matter what, because when you overpromise too much and only deliver at the very most to the same level, if not even less, that is already a failure in most people's eyes. So at that point, it's better to just not say anything, just say you release a game, it's a big open world game where you do a bunch of stuff, and don't go ahead and blow it out of the water like it's the second coming of Christ himself, because this is exactly what happens. We've seen this time and time again with games that overpromised, underdelivered, and it's 10 times worse to boast about your game and then fail than it is to just shut the hell up, let the game speak for itself, and if it has problems, people can go over them. Like, seriously, right now there's like 1 million people on Steam just playing it. They obviously don't care about the bugs, they are willing to push through it, but they will not forget about this no matter how well CDPR has done in the past. And it's a shame, because the company is pretty amazing, they create some really amazing games, and Cyberpunk, even in its current state, is a really nice fun and amazing experience that I don't find myself enjoying too often. Like, there's very few games that keep me disengaged like how Cyberpunk does it, and it does it for more than one playthrough, so that is quite a bit. Now finally, we would always like everyone who buys our games to be satisfied with their purchases. We would appreciate it if you give us a chance, but if you're not pleased with the game on our consoles and don't want to wait for updates, you can opt to refund your copy. For copies purchased digitally, please use the refund system on PSN or Xbox respectively. For boxed versions, please first try to get a refund at the store where you bought the game. Should this not be possible, please contact us at, of course, the email address right here, and we will do our best to help you. Starting from today, you can contact us for a week up until December 21st, 2020, because yeah, that's pretty much the holidays. Christmas comes and everybody's gonna be on holiday, so that's pretty much it. Of course, humbly, the entire lead team over at CDPR, PS PC gamers will also be getting regular updates and fixes, improving the game. This is, I'm not gonna lie, this is a big dig move right here. Like, to own it in this way and come up with a full-on refund, like a statement like this, that's a big dick move right there. Even though they will probably suffer a little bit, but no matter what, I believe that this is not gonna be nearly as bad as the bad publicity they would get if they were to continue to not issue the refunds in the first place. Like, the game definitely deserves refunds, especially on the old gen of consoles. If you are one of those players who are experiencing these things, definitely go ahead. It's way better for everybody if you just get the refund, get your money, and then later on, if you have better hardware, maybe buy it on that, or maybe not buy it at all if you're not satisfied with the company. But I will say this, I'm surprised that they didn't pull an EA on everybody or like an Activision on everybody. They could have easily done that, like especially the executives. They already got the cash, they can just go in, splurge on a new Lambo, a new mansion, or a new yacht. They could do that, but instead they opted in to do the right thing. So yeah, this was quite a surprising one, but at the same time, I think that the amount of refunds that they will get is probably gonna be negligible. Like, this game, as we've talked about previously, already is in the profit. It was already making profit from day one before release. Like, even before release, it was already full on covered with all of its expenses, with the marketing, and already made a profit by December 10. Also, on the same note, Sony is in on it too, by the way. So if you're a PS4 user, well, Sony offers refunds for base PlayStation 4 users due to the huge amount of complaints from this player base. So yeah, if you are on the base console, I'm pretty sure that Microsoft does it too, but you can definitely go ahead and ask for these refunds, and they should be able to be given to you. Honestly, I think that this is the best course of action, both for the players and CDPR, and in the long run is going to matter much more than like the small amount of refunds that they might get. But let me know down below, what is your experience right now with Cyberpunk 2077 and what platform are you playing on? As always, thank you so much for taking your time to check this video out, and I will see you guys in the next one.